I'll be talking about 3 ingredients to do better on YouTube. So firstly, seeding your content. Secondly, shares per view. And thirdly, clicks per shares. So we should start off by abandoning this myth of virality. And that works like this. So you make a video of a skateboarding dog, you put it on YouTube, your friends see it and they think it's hilarious and they share it with their friends and so on, and then you're the next viral sensation. So that's really not how things actually work. So to take an example, has anyone seen the double rainbow video? Cool. So if you haven't seen it, I'd really recommend watching it. So this is the growth curve for the double rainbow video. So for the first few months, basically no one saw it. And it was only when an American comedian called Jimmy Kimmel tweeted it that it actually took off and watched. So you might have very shareable content, but unless lots of people see it, lots of people can't share it. So what does it mean? Well, you need to look at the online communities that might be interested in your content. So there's a strategy group called Face Group who use pulsar tracking technology to see how videos spread through Twitter. So this is a visual representation of how the Dove Real Beauty adverts spread through Twitter. And each blue dot is someone who's tweeted about the video, and each orange dot, or greenish dot here, is someone who's retweeted it. So what they found was there wasn't one online community they had to share it to. There was over 1,000 different communities. And if you'll see, a lot of them are actually very separate, so there's not that much overlap. So when you're trying to get content out there, you need to think about who your communities are and then who the gatekeepers are, so those influential people who might have large social reach with that group. And a lot of the big companies realize that it's really hard to do that organically. So paid promotion is actually getting really popular, and I think that's something that charities and non-profits will really benefit from in the future. Okay, so the second thing is shares per view. So this is the proportion of people who watch your video who then share it. And there's lots of ways to approach this question, but there's a great researcher in Australia called Dr. Karen Nelson Field, who's done the most rigorous study of how emotions relate to this. So she took 800 videos and with a team of researchers assessed the emotional responses that people had to them. Probably not like that, but it kind of conveys the idea a little bit. And then statistically correlated this to share rates to see what the trends and patterns were. So here are some of the main results. So firstly, it pays to be arousing. So this, arousing in this context means a strong emotional response as opposed to a weak one. So videos that had a strong emotional response were shared 100% more than videos that had a weak emotional response. Second, be positive. So videos that had a strong positive emotional response were shared 30% more than if that emotional response was negative. And they looked at charity and non-profit videos specifically, and they found it was 70% more. Third, if you're going to elicit a negative emotional response, then it pays to elicit anger, because apparently that's the most shareable emotional response. And finally, show personal triumph. So they looked at lots of different creative devices, including babies in videos, and found the most powerful way to get your video shared is creating a strong positive emotional response through a story of personal triumph. So finally, clicks per share. This is the most overlooked part of making videos that share well, in my opinion. So this is every time I share something on Facebook, then my friends will see a certain amount of information about that video and then decide to click on it based on that. So what the best people are doing, like Upworthy, they're optimizing the title of the video, the description, and the image. And they're using A/B testing to do that. And that's very hard to do for other people, but what I've been working on recently is a way you can do this with a budget of about £10. So to A/B test the name of your video, just take out 2 identical Facebook adverts, the only difference being the name of the video that shows in the advert, show it to 5,000 people, and then see how many people click on that video, and then you could increase the number of people that will click on your video quite significantly. So there's obviously a lot more to these areas than I've talked about, and I wouldn't say I've mastered it by any stretch of the imagination, but actually there's lots of research about this area at the moment, and not that many people I talk to have really engaged with it. So I'd really recommend, if you're interested in video, checking out these sources that I've talked about, And I've put all the links on my website there, so alta-eco.co.uk/OGN. So I'd really recommend just using the research and using that to help get better. All right, thank you.